I'm pretty damn sure at this point that nobody from Wren is ever going to contact me with serious answers to my concerns about their projects, which is frankly too bad because I think while I have issues, I think they could make it work with very small changes. But they're obviously not open to talking to anybody about anything like that. They just want your money. At this point, I don't see that there's any other interpretation of what's happening besides that. But I did come up with an idea this morning, actually, and I feel like I should have come up with it earlier, um, to actually make the production of biochar, or at least charcoal, from, and I think the favorable material would be waste plastics and waste paper, waste rubber, carbonaceous waste material that's not recyclable, but which we produce large amounts of anyway, and it ends up in situations like the ocean or whatever. It ends up in the environment in forms that potentially pose problems like microplastics. So yeah, the basic idea that I came up with, and like I said, I feel like an idiot for not thinking of this sooner. Why not use a sand battery system that reaches high temperatures, right? So a large, like, municipal, like, scale sand battery for storing heat from the sun, and you're reaching temperatures like 300-400 C. That's hot enough to um, that's hot enough to pyrolyze materials like paper and plastic. So what you can do is you can have a completely sealed kiln that you lower into this reservoir of heat, and so there is absolutely no emissions whatsoever after, like, once this thing is built and operating. Um, the only the only carbon footprint it can possibly have is from maintenance. While it's actively being used to produce energy for this community, for the village, for the city, for whatever scale we're looking at. Um, might even be able to do this at a household level, but I'm skeptical you can get the heat right. I'm skeptical you can hit high enough heats without things like mirrors. But even with that, like, okay, you probably could. There's probably ways to get this to scale down. Um, yeah, and I think that would be. I might actually try to build like a prototype of this thing, because basically all you really want is a solar oven, but you want to focus it onto a larger mass, right? So you're preserving that thermal energy, and you want to have a higher density of thermal energy so that it's actually hot enough to pyrolyze plastics and cardboards and papers and stuff. See, that's a project that I could absolutely get behind. Right. So I'm disappointed that they're not interested in talking to somebody. Um, yeah, because if they were serious, you think they'd be willing to. You think they'd be willing to talk to people. And it's not like I was a jackass. All I said was like I have some concerns here. Um, my first interaction with them actually was the first thing that I said to them ever was, I have some concerns. Can you please email me so that we can you somebody on your end can explain to me how this works, because I have some questions about this. I have some concerns. I don't understand how it works. Something along those lines. And nobody responded. until I got an email asking me for money. So then I waited a few more days. Yesterday I sent another email. It was less cordial, but still not really rude. I really just don't think that these people are legit. I don't think that they're actually going to ever contact me or that they will contact anyone, right? Because, yes, I can be quite brash. Um, I can be very, very rude. I understand this. I'm aware of this. I can also be exceptionally polite and cordial. And that's how I started off with the people from Wren. And they chose not to respond to that. They chose to ignore that and just ask me for money. So that's the point at which I stopped being interested in being polite, because now you're starting to show your true colors. And the more time goes by, the more I see it, and the more I'm just gonna be like, yeah, okay, fuck you, you know. And that's who I see them as at this point, because that's the path that they have chosen.